Today I want to talk about another influence of mine and more broadly how we can go beyond a single point of reference. Bear with me, I might go on a few tangents here and there. So anyway, Vagrant Story. Now in my opinion, the best looking game on the PS1 and arguably one of the more distinctive looking games even today. A lot has been said about Vagrant Story over the years, but I think there are a few specific takeaways that are really useful to artists and creatives alike. In the case of Vagrant Story, a huge visual influence for the team was the town of Saint-Emilion in the Bordeaux region of France. So much so that they even sent some of the team members there to take reference photos. Now, this was pre-Google image search, so that was the best way for them to get visual data for the game. Now, I could just stop there and look at Vagrant Story, play the game, take screenshots, that sort of thing. Or I could dig deeper and study the architecture of Western France. This could lead me towards discoveries that the Vagrant Story team themselves weren't even focused on. Maybe it leads me towards ideas, moods, details that resonate with me personally that didn't resonate with the Vagrant Story team. And this is how you deepen your well of reference and develop your personal taste. And you could see this everywhere. Take the game Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, for example. When it was first revealed, it sparked a ton of controversy for its bold visual style, and I think we can all agree that today it feels timeless. But even that art style had deeper influences. One major inspiration was the 1963 anime The Little Prince and the Eight-Headed Dragon. So if you were making a cel-shaded game inspired by Wind Waker and wanted to dig deeper, you would look at this anime and perhaps other animes by the director. Again, the goal is to deepen your well of influences and look beyond that singular point of reference that first inspired you. Now, back to Vagrant Story. Beyond the visuals, what really stands out to me is the overall tone. It's dark, moody, and incredibly cinematic. Yasumi Matsuno has talked a lot about his other inspirations, Jet Li films, Shakespearean theater, even comic books. Again, I think this is a great way to start deconstructing our influence instead of staying at the surface level. And ultimately, I feel that this is what can keep us from becoming derivative artists. But I think this also leads to another interesting point. Sometimes our favorite influences are not perfect works of art. For all my love of Vagrant Story, I have a confession. I never actually finished it. It's an incredibly obtuse game, and its systems are not very well explained. The weapon crafting system, for example, is really clunky, and couple that with the long load times, it really inhibits experimentation. And if you've played the game, you know that the weapon crafting system is pretty important to success in the game. Honestly, playing the game with a guide, I feel is a must. And yet, I still consider it one of my favorite games of all time. I've studied the art direction, read and listened to interviews with the creatives, watched long plays, and overall have just obsessed over the game. I think it says something really important about games as a medium. I think we often lose sight of the overall experience of the game. Music, storytelling, art, performances, atmosphere, tone, all of these elements work together to bring the whole experience together. Do all of them need to be flawless for a game to be truly special? I don't think so. Another game that resonates deeply with me is Nier on the PS3 and 360. It's another favorite of mine, but it is deeply flawed. Objectively, it's rough. Visuals are technically limited, the combat is pretty basic, and it is littered with fetch quests. I think judged on those merits, it's a pretty mediocre game, and I feel like that's pretty much how it was judged at the time. But what's missing from that conversation is everything else. The music, the performances, the strange melancholic atmosphere, the weirdness of the world. It took creative risks that didn't always work, but the result was something far more memorable than a polished game where it played everything safe. I feel the same way about Vagrant Story. In the 26 years since its release, I've played countless games in similar genres that are far more approachable and have smoother gameplay experiences, but almost none of them resonate with me in the same way. Personally, I would rather play a game with uneven gameplay that really excelled with the art direction, mood, storytelling, performances, music, than a really technically well-polished game that just is ultimately forgettable. Now, don't get me wrong. As game developers, we should always strive to make the most smooth gameplay experience possible. But my point is that we need to think about the whole of the game, every element of it, and try to find the right balance of things and not lose sight of the pursuit of one thing over the pursuit of other things. So there we go. Yeah, I know I said I was going to go off on some tangents and talked a little bit about uneven games and also about deconstructing your references, but I think the greater point of this whole conversation today is to really deconstruct things that inspire you and to not just take it at face value and say, oh, I really like this thing. It's a mistake that I made in my younger years. You have to kind of dig deeper into what inspires the people who inspire you. And I think when you take those lessons to heart, you could really kind of apply that practice to not just art, but to music, gameplay, performances, and really kind of help make your project, whatever that may be, in this case, a video game, have echoes of what inspires you, but ultimately stand on its own merit and not be derivative.